Hello Year 6 and welcome to day 3 of week 5, Wednesday the 20th of May. And today we're going to carefully select and generate language. So what have we done so far? Let's have a minute to think about what we've done. So we know more about Darwin and his voyage. We've thought about why it's important to be precise and careful with the samples that are collected. And we've actually created a very precise and carefully worded herbarium. Okay. Today we're going to collect and generate words and phrases that we are going to use in a letter. So here is the letter. This letter is written from Henslow. I don't know if you remember that he was the tutor that was from Cambridge University. Now he wrote to Darwin while he was on his voyage, and this is one of the letters. So I'd like you now just to pause the video and read the letter to yourself. Okay, now you might notice that there's lots of ellipses in this letter. That doesn't mean that the writer has used ellipses in these spaces. What it means is that part of the letter has been missed out, and instead of just missing them out, you have to include ellipses to show that something's been missed out. Right, I'm going to read to you the letter now, and it was written in Cambridge on the 15th of January 1832. My dear Darwin, your account of the tropical forest is delightful. I can't help envying you. Most of the plants are very desirable to me. Do please avoid sending scraps. Make the specimens as perfect as you can. Root, flowers, leaves, and you can't go wrong. Enlarge ferns and leaves, fold them back upon themselves on one side of the specimen, and they will fit into a proper-sized paper. For goodness sake, what is number 223? It looks like the remains of an electric explosion. It is a mere mass of soot, something very curious, I dare say. Would it not be a good precautionary measure to transmit to England a copy of your memoranda with your next packet? Every individual specimen once arrived here becomes an object of great interest. Even if you were to send home 10 times as much as you do, yet when you arrive, you will often think and wish how you might have sent home 100 times as much as you have sent. Most affectionately and sincerely yours, J.S. Henslow. Okay, so I just want you for a moment to just think about what each paragraph is telling us. So let's go on. Have a look at this first paragraph. I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can summarise that paragraph in just a very short phrase or a short sentence. Okay, what did you summarise that as? I wonder if it's the same as mine. I thought that it was advice to him. So for me, the summary of that is some advice. What about this paragraph? I'd like you to pause the video and see if you can summarise this paragraph. I felt that this paragraph was all about sample 223. I wonder if you agreed. Okay. This final one. For this final one, I understood it that Henslow was encouraging Darwin to collect as many specimens as possible. And then at the end of the letter, he signs it off. We'll have to remember to do that, won't we? So, this is your task. What I'd like you to do is collect some vocabulary from the letter. Now you can see that on my copy of the letter on the screen, I've underlined some phrases that when I was reading through it, I thought, oh, they seem very interesting to me. What I'd like you to do is the same. You don't have to underline it, but we're going to collect those phrases. Now, it might be a good idea for when I've finished telling you what to do, if you pause the video, you can go to the website and there's a copy of this letter here, so you don't have to keep moving the video forwards and backwards. So we're going to collect this language. It's really great for us to use in our letter because it's language that was used in a letter from the time. So we are going to collect it on a mind map. Now my mind map I've started here. Do you notice that we just summarised what each paragraph was about, and I've collected those on my piece of paper, and I've added a final one, a fourth one, general phrases. There's some phrases there that I thought, great, I love those. I just decided to collect them separately. So you're going to put those headings on a piece of paper. If you've got another way that you'd like to collect those, your vocabulary and your phrases, that's absolutely fine. But for now, just prepare your piece of paper. So pause the video and prepare your piece of paper. Okay, so hopefully now you've got your headings. Let's see what you're supposed to do with them. So you're going to go and have a look at the letter on the website, and you're going to steal as many words and phrases as you possibly can. Can you see that I've started doing that? Okay, so I'd like you to pause the video now and collect as many phrases and words that grab your attention from the letter as possible. Don't forget there's a copy of the letter on the website if you'd like to look at it. Okay, so here's my finished mind map. If there's anything there that you'd like to steal, please do pause it and take a copy of a few words or phrases and add them to yours. Okay, so now we've got some really good phrases and words that we can use from a letter, but we need to add some content that will come from Darwin himself. So Darwin is going to write back to Henslow and he's going to describe how it feels to be on his trip, on his voyage. So we're going to create a grid like this. So can you please, when I finish speaking, pause the video and can you draw a grid just like this with see, hear, smell and feel in? Okay, so hopefully you've quartered your page and you've got those heading in. Now you might see that I've added bullet points to this. So this is about him being on a voyage, and this is those 4 bullet points in particular about how he feels being at sea. Can you see the inviting scent of land? I was hoping that would show that he's desperate to get onto land. Can you see how his stomach feels when he's at sea? Yeah, he wasn't really a fan of being at sea, was he? So I've tried to get that to come across. But there's more that we want to talk about, isn't there? So I want you to have a think. We're going to write back to Henslow about an island that we land on, and we're going to tell him about our herbarium. Do you remember we made a herbarium? We're going to imagine that we've collected that plant leaf, not from our gardens, but instead that we've collected it from this island. So I'd like you to write what attracted him to the plant, just some words and phrases. When he saw the plant, what could he see? What could he hear, smell and feel? Add some more general ideas about the island as well. So please can you pause the video and add your ideas to this. Okay, so as you can see, I've added a few ideas. Now, the second bullet points down, this is all about the plant that I discovered on the island. So, enchanting glossy leaves. Remember that Darwin was fascinated with nature, wasn't he? So he wouldn't just say quite nice leaves, he would find them enchanting. He would of course notice insects and be interested. We might just say, instead of saying, oh, that's a strange smell, Darwin found it a perplexing odour. I like to use perplexing because it made me feel as if he would be curious about where the smell came from, and he might even try and find out rather than just saying, oh, it's a strange smell. I'd like to imagine that the curious rumbling was an earthquake that he experienced. Okay, so my final bullet point in each one is a general one about the island. I would like you to, if you haven't got any that you think you'd like to steal, please steal them from my chart. On here, hard exoskeleton. I'm not very pleased with that one. I imagine Darwin picking up an insect and being very curious about what it felt like, and maybe touching gently the back of the insect. But I don't like my description here, so pause the video, steal any that you like or improve any, and add them to your grid. Okay, so we should now have generated lots of great ideas. Okay, so in summary, you should have selected vocabulary to use in the letter. You should have also have generated vocabulary to describe Darwin's experience on the island. Make sure that you include what attracted him to that plant that you took the leaf from. You need to keep that work for the rest of the week because we're going to be using it when we write our letter. Okay, so remember, if you haven't done it already, go back and do that. And there'll be pictures of the work included on the slides and the letter. Okay, good luck. I look forward to seeing your work.